Market conditions majority bullish at 14 and 0 on S&P futures, relatively flat as of this moment, and we're seeing expansion in the overall trend, upper end of this range, all-time highs as of yesterday, and retracement range going to be right around that 6,400, a little bit less than that if we were to get a retracement at these levels or from these levels. A couple of bearish tone things to note this morning. We've got the breadth, the number of stocks above the 50-day moving average has been a concern that we've been looking at here for the last few days. We're at 53, majority bearish, compression happening right here, where we're seeing, a market that is continuing to have new upsides and new highs, but we're just not getting a lot of participation. The two things can happen. One, those that are not participating can take off and start to participate, or the ones that are leading the market higher can ultimately start to roll back over again. We'll see which happens, but that's not overly concerning, but it would certainly like to get more strength out. There's going to have to be a lot of demand to press this market even higher from where we're at. We're at all-time highs. The weekly time frame, we're really expanded right here, but we could get retracement up above this demand block for quite some time. As long as that holds up all the way back to that 6150 range on S&P 500 is still going to be in bullish momentum. So we haven't had a retracement, but any retracement we get, we've got quite a bit of range for demand to step in. VIX weakening a little bit here as well, under 15. We're sitting at 1478. S&P futures closed out yesterday at 14 and 0 rather, and 14 and 0 on the weekly time frame here as well. We're seeing Dow Jones Industrial Average continuing to show some strength here. All-time high was about 4 days ago. We'll see if we can push and break out above that. We might be getting it with a little gap this morning if that holds. These levels we're seeing, must have had some news right here. We're seeing futures gapping around here a little bit, up 0.26. Not a huge move, but it was just barely flat. We'll see. I have to go in and see what news items we're getting this morning. Triple Qs showing some strength here as well, continuing that overall uptrend, snapping to an all-time high on triple Qs. Russell 2000, so your small cap names continuing to show some strength right here, continuing to push towards that upper supply location. You can see over here on this weekly time frame, this is an area where the selling started. Small caps have just not been able to break through that quite yet, but a pretty significant run here nonetheless over the last 6-8 months since April. We're seeing USO ETF for oil continuing to have some weakness overall, getting a little confirmation bar, holding that 50% range. See if it can push up above that 382. When we're compressed like this, now this has flipped everything back to majority bullish just on a couple of days. So it's still trying to ultimately decide which direction this volatility is going to expand. Are we going to expand to the upside with this bullishness, or are we going to expand to the downside, similar to this over here with some bearishness? It's still, the jury's still out on that, but it's flipping back again this way after a deep retracement. That is on oil. Gold, on the other hand, continuing its monumental run here, getting this trend fanning out towards the top end of this range, and the weekly time frame here, when we look at this is one of the things that I'll keep mentioning, and that is this compression is a great decision point. The expansion is also a great decision point. When you start to get this really wide expansion, then think of the momentum. How much more demand can create additional momentum in gold? That's going to be the question. Where is the demand going to come from if gold is going to go higher? Who's going to be buying at these levels? Obviously, there are some buyers still. We'll see where that ends up here in the next few days. A retracement all the way back down to the momentum zone inside of this playground 314 is now really essentially, if we were to get a retracement all the way back to that breakout point, would still be relatively structured in terms of an overall bullish uptrend. 2-year Treasury, we're continuing to see weakness there. We're at 348 this morning on this weekly time frame. We're also really been compressing to the downside. We're now pushing at these lows here. We'll see if we end up breaking lows and retracing even more on the 2-year. The 10-year, similar type pattern, showing some significant weakness here. Again, here's compression. It's starting to expand now to the other direction. So we're seeing rates fall relatively quickly, at least here in the last couple of days, as we've seen some economic numbers that the bond market liked in terms of buying bonds, but selling off in terms of rates. A couple stock ideas to consider. Oracle had a massive move higher. This move higher made Ellison the richest man in the world. He over $100 billion in a day from for Oracle. Don't know that I would trade it right here at these levels, but thought it was interesting. A couple other setups so that our little cleaner pattern MOD, nice confirmation bar into momentum, moving to that upside on MOD. That's been a nice stock over the years. It's had a really big run here and then a pretty deep retracement all the way back down to that 618 location. Found the demand there, and now it's working towards the upside and now getting a new all-time high. So interesting move here on MOD. Let me just squeeze this back here just a little bit. Vistra Energy also, so you're seeing some electric utilities, you're seeing engineering and construction, seeing some integrated oil in here as well. VST, nice confirmation bar, and MTZ, also really nice looking pattern. So you're getting a lot of these names that have had nice uptrends, tight consolidation, holding in momentum, confirmation back in, increased volume. That's the overall pattern primarily that we want to look for in looking for stocks that are in momentum. The new buy screen gives you those settings. If you'd like to get those settings for your own dashboard for TradingView, there are links in the description, either through Substack or through the Discord server as well. And that'll do it for today's update. Appreciate everyone that tunes in and watches. And if you find value in the presentations, please like on the YouTube channel, like the videos. That does help the YouTube algorithm find others that may be interested. That if you're finding value in the content, there may be others out there that will as well. And again, I appreciate you taking the time this morning spending with me. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.